Mathematics is all about numbers, and without numbers, there will be no mathematics. That is why we'll be starting this playlist with the number system. You are welcome. If you are yet to subscribe to this channel, do so right now and put on the notification bell so that you will not miss out on any of our classes. The number system consists of natural numbers, whole numbers, integers, rational numbers, irrational numbers, and then we'll also be looking at odd numbers, even numbers, and prime numbers. What are natural numbers? Natural numbers are the numbers that start from 1. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, and the likes. They are all natural numbers. So what are whole numbers? The only difference between natural numbers and whole numbers is that in whole numbers, we have 0. So whole number starts with 0, while natural starts from 1. So when we're talking about natural numbers, then we will be starting with 1, 2, 3. But when it comes to whole number, then it will start with 0. That is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the like. So the only difference between natural numbers and whole numbers is that whole numbers have 0 with the natural numbers. The next number in the number system are integers. When we are talking about integers, then we have the positive numbers and the negative numbers and 0. So when we are talking about integers, then we are talking about natural numbers, whole numbers, and then the negative of natural numbers. That is, we'll be talking about 0, 1, 2, 3, and the likes, and then we'll also be adding -1, -2, -3. So that is what integers is all about. So when you hear the word integer, then you should know that we have negative numbers in it, we have 0 in it, and then we have positive numbers in it. But when we are talking about whole numbers, then it is just 0 and the positive numbers. And when we are talking about natural numbers, it is just the positive numbers. Mind you, when we're writing positive numbers, we don't always have plus in front of it. It's only when we're writing the negative numbers that we have negative. So natural numbers are just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whole numbers are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. While integers are -5, -4, -3, -1, then 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and the likes. Now the next number we'll be considering is the rational numbers. What are rational numbers? A rational number is any number that can be written as a fraction. Once a number can be written as a fraction, then it is a rational number. Mind you, I said rational number. The first one we mentioned was natural numbers, but this one is rational numbers. So once a number can be written as a fraction, then it is a rational number. Like 2. 2 is a rational number because we can write it as a fraction. If we want to write 2 as a fraction, then that means we'll be having 2 over 1. 10 as a fraction is 10 over 1. Or we can, so we also have 0.75 as an example of a rational number. Because if you want to write 0.75 as a fraction, then we'll be having 3 over 4. So once you can express a number as a fraction, then that number is a rational number. Just like I said, 0.75 will give us 3 over 4. That's a rational number. 0.5 will give us 1 over 2. That's a rational number. 0.25 will give us 1 over 4. That's a rational number. There are more rational numbers. Any number that can be written as a simple fraction, it is a rational number. So what is an irrational number? When irrational number is just like the opposite of rational number. Rational numbers can be written as fraction, let's say simple fractions, while irrational numbers cannot be expressed as fraction. And when we are talking about irrational numbers, when they are in decimal point, it is always the decimal point is always flowing, like it has continuous numbers. For example, a pi, the value for pi is 3.14159 and the likes. It continues. So that is an irrational number because it cannot be expressed as a simple fraction. Another example of an irrational number is square root of 2. You know, I said 2 is a rational number because you can write it as 2 over 1. And then 2 over 1 is equal to 2. So 2 is a rational number. But square root of 2 is an irrational number. Because when you press square root of 2 in your calculator, when you find the square root of 2, the numbers after the decimal point is never ending. The square root of 2 will give us 1.414213. It continues. So square root of 2 is an irrational number. Square root of 3 is also an irrational number. So in summary, an irrational number is a number that is decimal, is never ending. Like the number just keeps going when you find the square root or when you turn it into decimal number. The number keeps going after the decimal point. So that is an irrational number. While rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed as a fraction. Integers include negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. Whole numbers include 0 and natural numbers, while natural numbers are numbers from 1 upward till infinity. So the next thing we'll be considering are odd numbers and even numbers. What are odd numbers? Odd numbers are numbers that cannot be divided by 2. When you divide odd numbers by 2, it will always leave a remainder. While even numbers are the numbers that can be divided by 2 without any remainder. For example, 2 divided by 2 will give you 1. 4 divided by 2 will give you 2. 6 divided by 2 will give you 3. But 7 is not an even number. It is an odd number because when you divide 7 by 2, it will give you 3, remainder 1. That makes it an odd number. And another question is 0 an even number? Yes, 0 is an even number because you can divide 0 by 2. Oh, you don't believe it? Okay, it's true. You can divide 0 by 2 because 0 divided by 2 will give you 0. So 0 is an even number, then 1 is an odd number, 2 is an even number, 3 is an odd number, just like that. So those are odd numbers and even numbers. So now if I ask you, is 138 an even number? You don't need to press your calculator because it ends with an even number. Automatically, it can be divided by 2 without leaving a remainder. So 138 is an even number. The next number is prime number. What is a prime number? A prime number is any number greater than 1 that can only be divided by 1 and itself. Note that I said greater than 1. That means 1 is not a prime number because it is only 1 that can divide 1. But when we're talking about prime numbers always have 2 factors. That is, prime numbers always have 2 numbers that can divide them, and that is 1 and itself. For example, 2. 2 is a prime number because 2 divided by 2 will give us 1, and 2 divided by 1 will give us 2. So for 2 can be divided by 1, and it can also be divided by itself. That is, it can be divided by 1 and by 2. Aside that, there is no other number that can divide 2. Another example is 3. 3 is also a prime number because it is only 1 and 3 that can go in 3. Now, let's talk about 4. Is 4 a prime number? No, 4 is not a prime number because 2 can divide 4. 4 can also divide 4. That makes it 3 numbers that can divide 4. 3 numbers can go in 4. Definitely, 4 is not a prime number. Now, let me ask you, is 10 a prime number? No, 10 is not a prime number because 10 has many factors. For example, 1 can go in 10, 2 can go in 10, 5 can go in 10, and 10 can go in 10. That makes it have 4 factors. So 10 is not a prime number. Another example of a prime number is 11. If you check it very well, there is no other number that can go in 11. It is only 1 and 11 that can divide 11. Now let's take it higher a little bit. Another prime number is 37. Do you think 37 is a prime number? Yes, it is, because press your calculator. 37 divided by 2. 37 divided by 3. Just press it. If you divide 37 by any other number, it will not go through. It will always have a decimal number. So the only numbers that can divide 37 are 1 and 37. That makes 37 a prime number. Do you understand what a prime number is now? Now, Give me an example of, give me 5 examples of prime numbers. Type them in the comments. Now, before we wrap up on this video, let's quickly talk about factors and multiples. I mentioned factor the other time when I was explaining 10. What are factors? Factors are numbers that we can use to divide a specific number, while multiples are numbers that goes in bigger numbers. Let me explain. Now, factors. If I ask you what are the factors of 10, like I mentioned the other time, the factors of 10 are the numbers that we can use to divide 10 without leaving a remainder. That is, the numbers that can go in 10 without remainder. Like I mentioned the other time, we have 1, 2, 5. So those are the factors of 10. Now, what are the factors of 100? The factors of 100 are 1, 2, 4, 5. Then what other number? We have 25, we have 15, we have 100. So factors are always smaller than the given number. Factors are always smaller than the given number. If I ask you what is the factor of 1000, then the first thing you should know is that the factors of 1000 will be smaller than 1000. That is, the numbers that can go in 1000 without leaving a remainder. But if I ask you what are the multiples of 1000, then the first thing that will come to your mind, that should come to your mind, will be that multiples are always bigger than the given number. That is, the multiples of 1000 will be the numbers that 1000 can go in. That is, the numbers that 1000 will divide without leaving a remainder. Don't get it mixed up. Factors are numbers that can divide a given number without leaving a remainder, while multiples are numbers that the given number will divide without leaving a remainder. Let's use 1000 again. Some of the factors of 1000 are 100, 20, 50, 500, while the multiples of 1000 will be 2000, 5000, 10,000, and the likes. So multiples are always bigger than the given number, while factors are always smaller than the given number. Factors are the numbers that can divide a given number, while multiples are the numbers that the given number can divide without leaving a remainder. So let's quickly do a summary of all we have done in this video. We talk about the natural numbers. Those are numbers from 1. Whole numbers are numbers from 0. Integers include negative numbers, 0, and then natural numbers. Then we talk about odd numbers. Those are the numbers that 2 cannot divide without leaving a remainder. Even numbers are numbers that 2 will divide without a remainder. Prime numbers are numbers that has just 2 factors, 1 and itself. Factors are numbers that can divide the given number without leaving a remainder, while multiples are the numbers that the given number will divide without leaving a remainder. So in our next video, we will be talking about whole numbers, everything that you need to know about whole numbers. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and put on the notification bell. See you in the next video.